The Xtreme Stop Precision cross-drilled and slotted rotors with ceramic brake pads are available for the front and rear of all 94 to 04 Cobra, Bullitt, and Mach 1 Mustangs. These are a great way to improve your pony's stopping power thanks to the upgraded ceramic pads and the drilled holes and slotted groove technology in the rotors, which I'll break down for you in this video. I'll also go over later on the installation for the front and rear, which is pretty simple with a couple of hand tools. Expect 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. The drilled and slotted design works together to improve your braking system so that your Mustang not only stops quicker, but produces less brake dust and less heat, which ultimately can extend the life of your pads. Now, obviously, of course, this depends on how you drive as well, so if you've got a heavy foot like myself, and you're constantly beating up and down both the throttle and the brake, then of course you'll wear down a little bit faster on the pads. Now, in addition to the functionality, they needless to say look pretty cool between the spokes of your wheels, so this is a great upgrade for guys looking to build more of a show car winner. Now, we all know that the front is really where the magic happens with braking, but if you're looking for an all-around upgrade, this is a perfect set. Now, even though they don't do the majority of the braking in the rear, they'll definitely be an improvement over stock. To break things down a bit, the drilled holes you see here are designed to help cool the braking system. The way the drilled holes work is they actually vent the excess heat that builds up while your brakes are in use on the streets or strip, which can keep your brakes under constant stress. Now, they'll keep that system cooler for a better stopping power. Now, in addition to that, they'll help water escape in wet weather conditions for increased initial bite. The holes are beveled and rounded as well, which helps with everything I just mentioned while eliminating the risk of uneven brake pad wear. Since the pads are upgraded too, you don't have to worry about picking them up separately. Xtreme Stop paired these up to work well together for both the street and strip applications like I just mentioned. Now, the pads are ceramic, which produces less brake dust and less noise as well. Now, the slotted design is referring to the indented grooves along the surface of the rotor. This will help fight the buildup of brake dust on the surface where the pad makes contact, ultimately improving the bite of the pad against the surface. Now, these slots allow dust and gases that build up upon contact with the pad to escape through the slots, keeping the surface clean and even fighting against brake fade. Now, the temperatures of these rotors are lowered as much as 180 degrees with this set, as Xtreme Stop lets us know, which is extremely effective in creating more precise braking while also helping to keep more of a consistent pedal feel. They're finished in a bright zinc electroplate to extend the lifetime of each rotor and reduce the corrosion. Now, for a complete set like this, the price comes in right around $350. There are a ton of similar options out there, so it may come down to your brand preference if you have one, or the appearance of the drilled and slotted pattern. Ultimately, they all do the same job with very slight differences in between at most, so expect this price point if this is what you're going for. The installation, as I mentioned earlier, gets 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter because it is a simple brake job requiring basic hand tools to get done in about an hour and a half in the driveway at home. Now, for the rears on SN95s, if you don't know, they do require a very specific brake pad removal tool, which if you don't have, you can rent at your local auto parts store and then just return it when you're done. At least that's what I did for my 95 Cobra. Now, with that in mind, you also need a ratchet and a simple socket set, a lug wrench for the wheels, of course, and then a jack and jack stands or a lift if you have access to one. I'd also recommend maybe having a mallet or a hammer on hand to help get the rotors off if they're a bit rusted on. Now, when your car reaches about 20 years old, 2 decades can definitely leave a little bit of rust in the wheel hub, so your rotors might be stuck on there, in which case the mallet or hammer would definitely come in handy. Now, the job itself will be as easy as just jacking up your Mustang, removing the wheels using your lug wrench on the lug nuts, unbolting the calipers and brackets with the appropriate sockets, and supporting their weight on a hanger of some sort so they don't hang down and put pressure on the brake lines. Remove the OEM rotor, which again might require that mallet to smack it off, and swap it off with the Xtreme Stop options here. For the pads for the front, you need to just pop the stock ones out of the caliper, grease up the new ones, and put them into place. For the rears, you'll use that specific hand tool for the pads. It's kind of like a key you have to put into place in order to get them off and on. With that said, you'll just use that to swap out the pads for the rears as well. The rotors, obviously with the rears, the exact same as the front. Once the rotors and pads are swapped out, you have the brackets for the calipers back on and the calipers onto the brackets. Throw the wheels back on, drop it back onto the floor, and you are good to go. Just to wrap things up here, if you're the owner of a 94 to 04 Cobra, Bullitt, or Mach 1, you might want to check out the Xtreme Stop Precision drilled and slotted rotors and ceramic brake pad kit, which you can find right here at AmericanMuscle.com.